You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin. I'm just now surviving that last segment with my Costa, talking about my Chargers loss. And now I'm excited to welcome back friend of the show, friend of Biz TV, Alon Goren. He is the founding partner of Draper, Goren, and Home. Welcome back to the show, Alon. I'm so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be back.
I know you were gonna maybe come to our studio one of these days. I'm still gonna hold you to it, right?
Yes, I can't wait.
Okay, good. When the COVID crisis maybe dies down, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but who knows? But so I'm so glad you're here because I have lots of cryptocurrency and NFTs keep coming up a lot in conversations that I'm having. So I'm glad to have you on to ask you some more questions. And now I heard somewhere in the world the terms crypto market crash. And I was like, I don't even know. Can it crash? What's going on with that? So you're the person I'm coming to ask. Is that just hype? Is that just headlines and clickbait? What's going on there?
It's a little of both, right? And if you're participating in this space, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the big ones, you should be long-term holding. You shouldn't be thinking, can I trade it? Because most of the people who trade end up losing because they're trading against professionals. And so to me, do you believe in Bitcoin long-term? Then go for it. And if you zoom out from the charts, just a few months, it's still going up and to the right. It's, so it's really hard to think of it as a crash if you've been in it for longer than a couple months.
Well, yeah, and I was just talking to somebody earlier about the market too and stocks, and she's like, I believe in the market. If people can get in the weeds, like you're saying, in the day-to-day ups and downs, which is going to be natural, and even a big dip in the long-term scheme of things, right? Would that be your suggestion too? Is if you're getting in on it, maybe get in on it with a long-term goal and a vision of like, hey, this is going to go up and down day to day with COVID upticks or whatever is going to happen with random Elon Musk tweets or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's kind of a long-term play and it's really not going anywhere, right? I mean, that's what I'm learning and gathering from this, especially with this conversation of the metaverse. And this is where stuff is happening. Even though it's hard for me to wrap my old school brain over the stuff that's all digital, piece by piece I'm learning. But is that kind of what you tell people? It's a long haul.
Yeah, it has to be a long-term game. And even, it feels like if you've been hearing about it for a while, you missed the trend and things like that, but it's still just beginning in terms of numbers and because in terms of adoption. And, even celebrities like Reese Witherspoon this morning basically tweeted about how everyone needs to be thinking about their digital identity and their crypto wallets and things like that.
Oh, if Reese did it, every housewife in America, I'm not saying this in a bad way, I'm saying this in a good way, but not just housewife, every woman in America between ages probably 35 and 55 are going to be on it now because I just bought some face cream that Reese was talking about on Instagram. So whatever she says goes. But I do think it's getting more adopted by more people. And now on Venmo, I think it was, you can have money go straight to cryptocurrency.
Yeah, not just in Venmo, but a lot of products like Coinbase has the ability, how when you have a full-time job and you fill out the paycheck and you can choose like, hey, put 10% in my 401k or put 10% in my savings account and here's the savings number. Coinbase has a setup now, and a few other products also have a setup where you can actually choose to just get a percentage of your paycheck in crypto. You can say, I want to take 10% of it, but automatically in Bitcoin and dollar cost average it over time. So you're not worried about these day-to-day crazy jumps and drops.
Well, that is actually very interesting. Now, where could someone like me learn more about that?
Well, I think you're segueing into, we do LA Blockchain Summit every year. It's our sort of flagship conference, but we do other conferences as well. But LA Blockchain Summit is the West Coast's largest crypto conference and blockchain conferences where professionals go to the convention center in Los Angeles and learn either the basics if you're new to the space or up to the most advanced people where engineers and developers participate as well in the hackathons and programs.
And that was in November. You just had that last November. So is there next one we have to wait till November to attend?
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait till the fall. We're because of COVID, of course, the dates and things shift because so many conferences are moving and changing, and so we'll announce a date soon for the fall.
Now, what I know is that the younger generation, I want to say, I feel like it's all they know. It's just like holding a phone. They know the word cryptocurrency. It's going to be in their mindset from an early age. And I know that a lot of people on TikTok are. Sully even got an account. Sully from Big Biz Show. So talking about things like crypto and the market. And so if there was somebody, if you're looking for someone to give you advice, like where's the best place to go? Obviously hire somebody from like you from your firm.
Well, we don't deal with retail and consumer. What I will say is the best thing you can do is of course focus on those main big ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos, maybe, right? And then start learning and paying attention. There's really great, YouTubers out there like Crypto Wendio or the Crypto Stash. If you want to learn about gaming in crypto, whatever you want to learn about, there's great content out there.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you if watching YouTube videos is, because that's where a lot of people go. That's where I go to learn a lot of stuff, is I just look it up on YouTube or listen to podcasts. Are there good crypto podcasts out there?
Yeah, there's some great crypto podcasts, it depends. See, you have to learn and get into it because you could be into gaming, you could be into just Bitcoin only, you could be into all sorts of DeFi, decentralized finance, once you start poking around. So it's hard to pick one single podcast or thing because there's so much great content. But what I would say is just look around, see what you're comfortable with. And at the beginning, especially, just play with money you can lose. I don't think of it as gambling once you learn and understand, but it's a big learning curve. So I think it's important for people to learn a little bit, try something, maybe lose money, maybe make money, but that's the only way to get educated in this space. You can't learn about it in the university yet.
And can someone that's starting out start with like $100 or $1,000, or where would you even want to start? What number would you want to start with?
That's the beauty of this thing. I would start with a very small amount of money. Consider it a savings account or a very amount that you would feel okay spending on a really fancy dinner or something once in a while. And take that once a month, once a week, whatever you're comfortable with, and start learning and playing with it. It could be $10. It doesn't have to be. That's the beauty of this space. Part of the point of the space is that there are no gatekeepers, there are no limitations and things like that. So, it can help you across the spectrum. And so I would start very small, whatever you're comfortable with losing, just until you feel comfortable and learn.
What you'd go spend a day or weekend at Disneyland or something with your family. Yeah. Put that aside, right? It's like if and when, I don't go to casinos very often, but if and when I do, I just take a chunk and pretend it's the weekend at Disneyland and say, this is going to be gone by the end of the weekend.
Part of the entertainment budget.
And then if it's not gone, then I'm up a little bit, right?
Yeah. I will say that this place has a great way of rewarding people who learn and participate.
And that's a key thing, I think, is educating ourselves and learning, but it could be very daunting and intimidating. But if YouTube is a good place to start, like you said, and then podcasts, because I do a lot of podcast listening, and I've started a few different crypto podcasts, and I think, I got to keep looking to find the one that fits me. But it's on my to-do list for myself for this year. I won't say New Year's resolution, but just, in general, to be on the learning curve. Because, what you said earlier about it's not too late to start. And I feel like I know for myself, part of me thinks, I've missed that boat. But you're right? It's not too late to get in on it.
If we believe that it's as long-term as it is, and if it will exist in some form 10 years from now, which I believe the internet will sort of run on different forms of crypto and blockchain, then I think, participating now is still extremely early.
Because it feels like it's a totally different language for a lot of people, which I think is part of, even the term blockchain or mining, I don't have a concept of what that even actually means. So that's where I need to start, is just go to the basics. Like, what are the ABCs of cryptocurrency, learning what mining means, what the blockchain is, learning what NFTs, which I'm going to ask you about in our next segment. Can you stick around for one more segment?
Absolutely.
Okay, I made the joke that I just learned how to spell NFT like last week. But I do know that it stands for non-fungible token,
Correct.
right? Okay, so we're going to talk about that after this break. So if you're at home, stick around. We've got more America Trends with Alon Goren of Draper, Goren and Home. We're talking all about crypto, and I was just talking to a client about NFTs and maybe creating one. So we're going to talk to him. I've got lots and lots of questions for Alon. Okay, and I do have that Reese tweet. Let's see that. What's going to get everybody? There she is. Every person will have a parallel digital identity. Avatars, crypto wallets, digital goods will be the norm. Are you planning for this? Where we are now, Reese, we are now. Thanks to Alon Goren and America Trends. We'll see you back in a few.
Man, ain't no lot to see. All those plans I made for myself, I got nobody else to lean on.
Welcome to everyone joining us to experience stories of resilience, hope, perseverance, and joy.
Move over to a sport chair, basketball wheelchair.
Category of Best Video are...
We love you guys.
Trends. I'm Burt-Godwin, and I'm zooming in with Alon Goren, founding partner of Draper, Goren and Home, cryptocurrency expert. And Alon, talking to you, it's like you have such a calm way of talking about this, and I love it because sometimes I feel intimidated about this subject. But you're making me feel, hey, you're gonna learn it, and you're gonna come along this ride. And I just want to, before we get into NFT talk, when did you get into the crypto space? Were you one of the first ones, pioneers in the space?
Yeah, I played with it really early because I was building crowdfunding platforms. And sometime around 2013, when we learned about Bitcoin and Litecoin and things like that, we thought maybe we could use it for micropayments on the internet. And I experimented, but not until about 2015, 2016 did I start really understanding and playing with it. And sometime around then, I made it my full-time job. Wow,
that's amazing. And going to be more people doing that as it grows, right? Now, and the concept of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, when did that come into play?
It's been around for a while if you're, kind of a nerd for the space, but about a year ago is when it started really happening in a way that a lot of people were starting to get into. I think COVID accelerated our whole digital life, by 5 or 10 years, even in some ways. And this thing that went from this obscure kind of weird digital collectible, maybe for video games kind of thing, became kind of mainstream. And I'd say middle of last year, Bored Apes, I'm wearing one of their shirts right now, it got popular and it became a thing for celebrities and people to have this sort of digital, what they call a PFP, a profile picture project, where you replace your profile picture with this new character that maybe resonates with you. I have a Bored Ape named Punk Ape Strong, and he's an old weathered punk rocker. And I gave him a little story and I got him because he looks like me.
That's amazing. Well, so I was on this call recently. We were talking about, because, I work for Sully, as you know, Sully that owns this studio here, Loft 100 Studios, and in lots of different ways, and I'm on different planning meetings for different things. And the concept of NFTs, and I think, how can we get one for one of Sully's shows or his band? And I don't even know, do you get one? Do you create one? Where do you even begin? And how do businesses, should they start thinking about this when they're in their, is it a marketing strategy? How can businesses benefit from possibly the NFT world?
It can be all of the above. A company that we work with just did the first ever buy a bottle of their craft vodka from their distillery, and you can mint a one-of-one NFT for that, and they donated the proceeds to the ASPCA. You can use it for all different things. I just think of it could be digital marketing, it could be for subscriptions, it could be for anything.
Well,
and
fundraising, you just mentioned fundraising too, right? You were just mentioning that because that's one thing. We're working on a big fundraiser, and that was one of the big things we came up with. I thought, let's create an NFT that segues, but then somebody brought up the point of that. You were just mentioning the mint of the label, but then someone on the meeting says, well, it also should be connected to something that's like, gets them a special thing in life. So somebody was saying maybe it gets them access to this club that's locally for lifetime. So it's not just a digital picture of an album cover. It's like now also with this NFT, you get to enter this club for the rest of your life for free and go to any show that's there.
Yeah. What's really, really funny is about 2 years ago, my son created his own token. My son on the internet is poopoo.eth, and he created a membership token. And anybody who held this membership, he would then just send you more and more NFTs and tokens and things like that. And it became this sort of funny joke kind of thing. But he, as a little elementary school kid, thought about these things before any of us did. But now a lot of the NFT projects are creating things in our space they call utility. Is there any utility to this token?
Yeah.
And that could mean, entrances to parties. That could mean entrances to clubs. Very popular online personality, Gary Vaynerchuk, lately announced that the holders of his NFTs are going to get new NFTs every year for the next 3 years to attend his VCon, his conference.
Wow.
And so, people are creating these things. And also there's this, I think it's sort of lingering from the crypto community, this sort of ethos in the space where you reward the participants. So a lot of the times it might be unspoken or it might just be, surprise, but a lot of these projects and things like that do what Gary Vee just did, which is like reward people with more than what they originally promised. And there's a cool way of rewarding people who hold longer and participate longer because it's all on the blockchain. It's all there, So it's a really cool thing that only kind of exists in crypto now. It's taking memberships and club style projects to a whole different level.
Yeah, I love that. And that's something that I can wrap my head around and makes more sense to me, explains the value piece of it, because then you want to make it something that could then be resold for more money potentially, right? And continually have... Yeah.
It could be that, but it could also just be community engagement. I'm wearing this hat. This hat is actually a hat that BAHC stands for Bored Ape Hardcore. And it's because Boring Stone magazines, these magazines that I have as NFTs, have Punk Ape Strong, my ape on the cover.
Okay.
And everybody who holds one is going to get this hat, but a digital version to wear on their avatars in the metaverse. It's like the nerdiest, most fun thing for us. I don't expect that people will then take this hat and resell it or do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the reason. It's more for fun for the community to get together and show each other like, yeah, man, I was there early. I got the hat.
I got the hat.
Right?
So
And
you have an NFT that lives in your computer digitally, and you have a hat, a physical hat. The hat's not the NFT though, right?
There could be the physical hat, but there also is a digital hat that can be worn in Decentraland or in the metaverse as well.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. Alon, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm getting more comfortable talking about this conversation with you. So by next year at this time, I'm going to be invested in crypto and we'll be going off. Everyone at home, thank you as always for tuning into America Trends. We'll see you again tomorrow night right here on Biz TV.